Welcome back to another episode of Unscripted. Again, looking at the Raw and Smackdown highlights from the second week of March, and the biggest Raw highlight, I have to say, was Roman Reigns returning this week. The OTC, the original Tribal Chief, the YTC, your Tribal Chief, the OTC, our Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, returned after an incredible match between CM Punk and Seth Rollins inside of a steel cage. We saw Roman interrupt by pulling out Seth and attacking Rollins. Now, it's quite clear that this is the way Roman Reigns will insert himself into the WrestleMania picture, and we still don't know what that favor is from Paul Heyman. There's been a lot of different speculations, and even I've provided perhaps my own speculation, I believe, where maybe CM Punk, if he wins that match, gets inserted into the Rhodes and John Cena World Heavyweight title match, or depending on when the match is, the Gunther and Jey Uso World Heavyweight title match. So we see now that they'll most likely be a triple threat at WrestleMania. In terms of what night I think it'll be on, maybe night 2 in the main event, and maybe they'll put Jey and Gunther to an opening match, or maybe that's the opening match of one of the nights. So that was the biggest pivotal moment from Raw this week. Smackdown came out of Barcelona, and I have to say, every time there's been a show, whether it's in France, Germany, England, Barcelona, like this week, the European crowds, they just do not disappoint, and it was an exhilarating and electric Smackdown this week from Barcelona, Spain. It looks like Jimmy Uso might walk out of WrestleMania as the United States Champion by defeating LA Knight, based off what I saw of that opening segment. And we might have a moment where Jimmy and Jey, Jimmy with the US title and Jey with the world title, sort of come together and embrace at the end of night 1. The former dominant tag team competitors are now on top of the world in their single title divisions. So that'll be interesting, and I think could happen. So much energy shown by the European crowd during the Randy Orton and Carmelo Hayes match, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I think is Orton's first one-on-one match back, or it's the first singles match he's had back in a while since coming back to the main roster. I could be wrong though. And we saw Axiom take on Gunther. And Axiom, I did not know this, Axiom is actually the first Spanish-born WWE signed talent. So he actually performed in front of his home crowd. And we know, as wrestling fans, we know how special that is for these superstars. Like when Rhea Ripley was in Australia, when Drew McIntyre was in Scotland. It's a very, even the American talent, when they're in their own cities, like Randy Orton, St. Louis, it's always a very big deal. And it'll be interesting to see if they do John Cena at West Newbury, Massachusetts as a heel. And it'll be interesting to see the reception they give him there. We saw a tag title change between a very good match with the Street Profits and DIY. And at first I'm like, this is a weak main event. DIY are going to retain. But it was done really well. The storytelling, the nuances within it were done really well. And we had a tag team match where the tag team division has been heavily scrutinized. We had a tag team match and a title change in the main event of SmackDown. And I really felt like this episode of SmackDown, minus the crowd energy, which was awesome, but take away the crowd energy, this episode of SmackDown is the sort of episode of SmackDown we want as WWE fans. Now on to some more logistical things. I noticed that the channel's grown to 9 subscribers from 6, and I just want to say thank you to those 3 subscribers, especially if you're watching right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you know anyone else who'd be interested in this channel or who loves pro wrestling with WWE, send them a link of this video. I would really appreciate it. It's been about 2 months, I think, since I started this channel, and it really means a lot, so thank you. And I will catch you, and who knows, maybe any new subscribers to the next episode of Unscripted.